and this is probably if you're going to get one thing out of the hacks that I give you, this is probably the most important one, and that's to hire for your personality rather than hire them for how experienced they are. So, what I've noticed is I hire a lot of staff who help me with our med spa work. They got to be trained in Botox, got to be trained in fillers. Um, but I've noticed where, if I compare, let's say, a trained person for like 5 to 10 years versus someone who's relatively new, maybe they have about a year's experience. And don't get me wrong, experience is important. But if the one who has got 5 to 10 years has a toxic personality and it's just not, maybe they have like a negative attitude, and the other one is like, draws people's attention when he or she enters a room. They're likable. You want to hang out with them. You want to, hang out at the bar and have a drink with them. Those are the type of people I want to hire because those are the type of people in my business. It's a service-based business, and because it's a cash-based business, it's more so. Of course, it's medical, but it's also retail, and it's important that we have great people who have great personalities who patients want to come again on a regular basis. That's going to be so much more valuable to my business than someone who's maybe had a lot of training, but they just, got a bad attitude. And, what happens with that is that negative attitude becomes viral and then it could affect your own staff. So, that could be everybody from the most trained physician assistant or even physician to your front desk person, because your front desk person really is the first person, obviously, that they're going to see when they come in through the door. They're the first person, usually the first touch point for your business when they answer the phone. If they, we like to say you need to answer the phone with a smile on your face. If they don't exude warmth and really feel like this most important task that they're doing right now is scheduling that appointment, then that's someone that I would probably want to look elsewhere, especially when we've got more applications coming in. For these 300 applications, we filled 3 spots, and it really came down to like their personality and like this is someone that I could see myself working with. Maybe we could help them, train them with their with what they need so they become very proficient. But those are the types that I like to hire. So again, hire for personality. And I was recently reading a book on practice management, and like there's one spa owner that who she basically looks around anytime she goes to Starbucks or goes to in church, and she says, hey, maybe you don't have the medical training, but you've got a great personality. We'd love to have you on board as a care coordinator or something like that. So you never know. You always want to be consider hiring, even if have it on your website that you're hiring, even if maybe you're not currently hiring, because you never know. People can transition out of jobs, and it takes so much time and money to hire a new staff that you want to make sure you always have that available. At least, if somebody decides to leave, you got a handful of resumes that you can actually start sorting through. Number 3, I'm sure you've heard this: fire fast, hire slow. Now, we have a process in our clinic where we have everybody, once they hired, it doesn't stop the evaluation. We're still kind of hiring them and evaluating them. We give them a 30-day trial where they can check us out. We check them out, see if there's a good vibe. Because obviously in an interview, maybe it's half hour, you're not going to really know the person until you actually start working with them. And when I hire, I like to make sure that it's just not me personally hiring them, it's other people that are involved in the hiring process. I get to see how they interact. You get to see them, have them shadow you for a day, because I want to make sure it's a good experience for them as well. Because if they, if it doesn't fit, if they don't like coming here, then we're really just, losing a lot of time and money for really a lost cause. And the thing is too is I've had to let people go, and it's not 100% their fault. Usually, when it comes down to, if you're the boss, the buck stops with you. And oftentimes it's because I didn't have systems in place, or I didn't explain anything. I didn't explain things on a proper basis. And that's a good time to, like, okay, what, like recently we had one where we had an MA and they stayed for about a week. And I said to myself, well, they probably were, I gave all the excuses. They probably weren't interested. They were just looking to maybe get a paycheck to make sure that they're collecting their unemployment. But what it came down to is I also looked at my systems. Maybe the way that we were training turned people off, or sometimes we just kind of throw people in there, and it can be very overwhelming. And so there's a lot of different factors. So I'll, if they give you an opportunity, I'll find out what exactly, why did you leave, if you can give us any information, because that really will help you, and it'll help you on your next hire.